Right, to an incredible finish at the City Ground. Liverpool picked up a massive 3 points in their battle to finish in the Champions League places. Alexis Mac Allister was denied a late winner as the handball law came into play again before the tightest of offside calls meant he could celebrate victory in the 7th minute of time added on. Look, Dermot, amazing drama, but it has to be said the law was correctly applied.
It was, and you feel for anybody in this situation, because he's just gone to block the ball, it strikes his elbow. But it went in. I saw one replay, I went, oh, this is going to be disallowed. On the replay, I saw immediately it struck his elbow and said, there's no doubt it's going to be disallowed, because the minute the VAR sees that, it's going to be handball. He's got the ball went in. He's so unlucky, but it will be the same with any player. It's not just Mac Allister. Any player that does that, it's always going to be disallowed.
I saw one run player and I thought of you. I don't want to do that on my Sundays.
Look, is that the kind of goal you would want to see ruled out?
I mean, listen, as soon as you see it hit his elbow, you know that it's not going to be given. And that, you know, the fact that he's hit his elbow, it negates all other rules, doesn't it? So, like, it's just unfortunate that that's happened. But that is the rules. And thankfully, he went and scored, was it a few minutes later, which was a perfectly...
Same play.
A good finish. But, I mean, even that, there was some question in that one as well, I will say. But we're going to speak about that now, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly, because, look, before we used to talk about deliberate handball and accidental handball. This is quite clearly black and white. Does it need to be changed then?
Well, I think it was brought in, Hayley, because a goal was scored at Burnley by the Arsenal centre-half, wasn't it? And it went in off his arm, and everybody said, this isn't right, it can't happen. So I think people accept that if it hits your arm or your hand and it goes in the net, they'll be just...
I agree with that. It's black and white, that rule, isn't it? So everyone knows that there's no debates from when it hits your arm and goes straight in the net.
It's also acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
100%.
We don't want to see goals scored with a hand.
OK. Right, look, Mac Allister had initially put Liverpool ahead. This was in the 89th minute. Now, we understand 5 minutes of time added on was awarded during the celebrations and as VAR made those checks. Now, the decision to disallow Mac Allister's goal took around 2.5 minutes, so no issue with Liverpool's winner that came in the 7th minute of time added on, Dermot.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was at pains to explain this to somebody last night who was raging about when it happened, and I said, but Mac Allister's first goal that was disallowed, it took all that, that's where the time came from. And they're like, yeah, but that doesn't matter, the ball's dead. I'm like, wow. But it was a justifiable extension to the added time.
I mean, do you know what as well? When you talk about this time, Hayley, me and Dermot spoke off air. Like, I'm not understanding why we can't have something like the NBA clock, where every time the ball has gone out of play, it's just stopped and then started as soon as it comes back into play. I think that would just clear everything up. But with that Mac Allister goal there, I was actually kind of referring to the Ekitike there. It looked to me like he was in an offside position, and I felt at the time that because the ball was going in that direction, he was interfering with play with the defenders, because obviously defenders are looking around them to see who's around them, to see where the ball's going. If you have a striker that's around you, even though he's standing offside, that technically is interfering with play, because you don't know if he's offside or not. You just have to react to where the ball is going. So even in that goal there is a question that he could be interfering with play.
Interfering with an opponent, yeah, but we had this at West Ham in the midweek fixtures, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago. It's cleared him by so much that he doesn't impact. It's complex, and that's why I think the assistants and the referees, when they pull their resources about offside, we say, I think they do a great job, because it isn't easy. It's the most technical law of all, isn't it, offside?
I mean, from a defender's point of view, though, like in that situation there, when you got, I think there was like 3 players at the back post. There was only 2 defenders. So, like, you look at that and you can understand why the defensive team would feel aggrieved to that, because they're saying, well, that is interfering with play, because there's a player around me. I don't know if he's offside. I can just see where the ball's coming from and know that player's there. I'm not looking across the line, because everything's happening so fast. So from that point of view, you could understand why they're saying there is interference in the way they're defending. And obviously, Mac Allister scored at the end, but I can understand that part.
I actually think it's better now that, you know, if you think back to when I refereed, offside was offside, players like that were always given offside. goals disallowed, and people didn't want it. People said, well, are they really impacted? I think it's a lot better. We see more goals, we see more excitement. And do defenders really get that bothered about it? I don't think so. If you look at that, Forest just reset for the game, didn't they? They just went on. So
I mean, the manager wasn't. He was fuming.
yeah, but he was fuming. He was fuming. He lost the goal at such a late time.
Liverpool's dramatic 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest at the City Ground featured intense VAR drama around Alexis Mac Allister's disallowed goal, sparking debate on ref watch with Dermot Gallagher and Jamie Carragher. In the 89th minute, Ola Aina's clearance rebounded off Mac Allister's arm into the net, initially celebrated as a winner before referee Anthony Taylor overturned it after VAR review. The Premier League confirmed, the ball struck Mac Allister's elbow, below sleeve line, making it accidental handball by the goalscorer, thus disallowed as a direct free kick. On Sky Sports Ref Watch, former referee Dermot Gallagher backed the decision as correct per handball laws, no intent needed when the scorer handles directly into goal. He said it was clear and obvious on review, though harsh in context, aligning with rules to prevent unfair advantages. Jamie Carragher, frustrated by Liverpool's overall poor display, called the overturn fair but part of a robbery narrative, fuming the team escaped with points despite being outplayed. He blasted the performance as woeful yet praised Mac Allister's resilience for netting the 97th minute legit winner after another VAR check cleared a tight offside on Virgil van Dijk's header. Mac Allister admitted post-match it hit his elbow but felt harsh as it bounced off his back too, understanding the rule while glad to score the decider. The incidents reignited handball rule debates, strict but consistent, amid Liverpool's top four push. Gallagher and Carragher agreed, not a goal, rightly chalked off. Please like and subscribe.